Why the heck did you want to be a lawyer?
Well, because I want to make sure that the little guy doesn't get taken advantage by the big bad guy.
No, 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 no.
Oh, yes.
That's is
Always.
that the law school answer?
That's always been the
But
answer.
what drives you to
That's
want to
what
be a lawyer?
that's
Every
what
morning
that's what drives me.
you get up and you think about that little guy?
Yeah. Fighting. So so honestly,
Really?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I don't like people getting picked on. Number one. And I like to fight.
Were you
Number
bullied
two.
when you were young?
Maybe a little bit.
Did you stand up to bullies when you were young?
Yes, always.
Okay. Give me a story about a bully that you stood up to.
Well, my neighbor, Kirk, was my age, and I probably was 6, 7, something like that, single digits. And we were out there on our bikes, and he he pushed me off mine.
He pushed you off your bike? Mm-hmm. Okay, and what happened?
So I ran into my mom crying that he pushed me off my bike, and she told me to make a fist like this and sock him.
And did you sock him?
So I ran back out there and I made a fist just like this and I socked him back.
And what did he do when you socked
He
him?
cried.
He cried?
Yeah.
Okay.
And ran to his mom, but he was so early lessons. My mom was a fighter and she trained me to be a fighter, whether I wanted to be or not.
Yeah.
But I love to fight and I'm super aggressive, as you know. I want to fight, and I like the fight has to have a mission. The mission is almost never about me. Like, that's a rare event, right? Because mainly I fight for other people. Don't always stand up enough for myself sometimes. I've learned as I've gotten older. I certainly didn't when I was younger. But it always is about fighting for someone else, for me.
What's the biggest misconception about you?
About me?
Yes.
You mean in the practice of law?
That you hear and you go, that is so not me. I can't believe they think that's me. What's the biggest one?
I don't even know. There's too many.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me some, and I'll respond to them.
I think that the biggest misconception about you is that you are a person who wants to control everything.
Okay. That's a great one because I do like to control everything. However, what you want to do and what you do are two different things. Who doesn't want to control everything? Don't we all want to control as much as we can about our lives and circumstances? Yes. Do I control more than a lot of people? Yes. I mean, I manage this law firm, but I didn't always. But I also go to trial. And I know I can only control my stuff because that judge or the jury is going to rule against me and I don't get to argue with them. Like, that's it. So, yes, I like to control because I have a vision of how I want things to happen. But I'm also collaborative. Now, I'll tell you, like, well, how do you think it should happen? And you're going to tell me and I'm going to say, yeah, no. But I can also say, that's a really good idea.
Okay.
I'm not closed-minded. So I think that's the biggest misconception is not that I'm a controlling person. I think any trial lawyer is controlling. We have to be because we have a vision that we want to see. The biggest misconception is that I'm closed-minded, and I'm not at all.
Really?
No.
I don't think you're closed-minded at all.
But people think I'm closed-minded. They think that being a control-oriented person means that you're closed-minded, and it is for a lot of people. But I'm not.
Yeah. Closed-mindedness and being controlling, I guess, go kind of hand in hand. But in a lot of ways, my read of the misconception is that like you have something to prove. I get it. Sometimes I pick this up from you that like you're trying to prove something.
Okay, well,
but that's not what I get. That's not what I get from you. What I get from you is that, and I mean, and this is my impression of you is that you're really an artist, and you have like almost like a picturesque, like a director, an executive.
I'm gonna call you on this. Okay.
What?
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
What did I do?
What's your best side?
What do you mean?
Is it your right side or your left side or your front?
What do you mean? What's my best?
Because you're like looking over there.
What do you mean?
You're looking over here instead of over here at me.
Well, no. But I'm thinking.
But you look at me normally when you think.
No. But I was just trying.
You're performing. You're being an actor.
If I was gonna be an actor,
you gotta get out of your head.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Get out of your head.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at you. What I'm trying to say.
There's
okay,
a Mo.
I was
like,
No. But I was seriously trying to think.
No, you were so out of Mo's head, and you were into like, oh, I'm gonna be the lawyer analysis head, and you were like,
that was a lawyer analysis.
That was a lawyer analysis. Well, I think, and then the picturesque.
No. But you think
the artistic painterly.
Okay. I'm going to retract. You are a control freak. You want to control my body.
I am a controller.
The way I look.
I want you to be you.
Okay. But it's hard when you say to somebody, be you, and like, now I'm being conscious.
Okay, and why is it so hard?
I think I am myself. I am myself. I'm being myself.
No, you're not. You're half Mo and you're half that guy I first saw on TV. Where I said like, oh, you're just such a lawyer. Like, I need you to be real. So like, let's talk about that. Like, what's the difference between looking at the camera and being performative and just having a discussion with me as if the cameras don't even exist?
I guess what's the difference is that when you're conscious that there's a camera present, you want to, acknowledge the camera.
So that's
part of it.
Well, it's more than that. So as a trial lawyer, and this, whole podcast is about trial lawyers and how we work. The biggest gift I can give the jury is to be just fully present there for them. That means, like, if the courtroom is packed, I'm not playing to the audience. I'm not even playing to, the court. None of the other characters are cast. I have a very direct communication message that I want to give. And to give it, I need to be really relaxed. I don't even think, like, honestly, when I'm talking to you, I'm not even paying attention to Mike and Julia and Cassie over here. I'm not.
Yeah.
The world shrinks away, and all I care about is you. Because I know that when I talk to you, the people that are going to be watching us will enjoy that experience, not the fact that I'm trying to communicate with them, because I'm not. I'm going to communicate with them through you, just by having that relationship with you. And so that's what I wanted. That's what when I say stop being a lawyer.
That's what you
and
mean.
Stopping Mo.
Okay.
I mean, stopping the lawyer Mo and be the real Mo. I want just the pure engagement with you that we always have.
Okay.
When Mike and Cassie.
You want our relationship.
I do.
Okay. That's easy.
Okay.
Okay.
But is it?
Yeah.
Because they're all here.
No, that's fine. I can be that.
How are you? So what is it? Tell us how you're going to change that.
I'm going to look you in your eyes when I talk to you.
Okay. Why is that important?
Because I'm connecting with you.
Okay. That is like probably one of the most important things you can do as a trial lawyer is to understand eye contact. Yeah. Because your energy doesn't just come out through your mouth. It's coming through everything. And if you're a person blessed with the ability to have eyesight, that is a huge communication tool and option. And people feel touched when you're able to meet their eyes. It's hard with 15 jurors, 12 plus 3 or whatever. But still you do that. You have that eye contact. You're not going to stare them down the whole time.
No.
But in closing or opening statement, that's all you're looking at is looking at them. And the rest of the world just melts away. And that's what's the key.
That's easy. I can do that.
Okay, but if you can't, then each time you don't, I'm going to say, Mo, quit posing for the camera. So the second thing of the misconception, other than the fact that I'm control freak, which you tell me a trial lawyer who's not a control freak, and I'll tell you that they're not a trial lawyer. I don't know a single trial lawyer who's not a control freak. Can you think of one? Because we have a vision, we have a mission, we got to execute it, and it's very difficult. Yeah. It's like saying that the general of your army is not a control. Like, of course, they're going to be a control freak. That doesn't mean that they don't delegate and have meetings and all that stuff. But the second misconception about me, I think, is that I need it all to be done my way. And that's not true. I want you to do it your way. So I'm a pretty good delegator if you can do it. But I want you to do it as Mo, not as anybody else. And, right, we just went through that.
We did go through that.
In order for me to have this thing that I just said, I have to be really, really kind of bossy. So that's a misconception that I am super bossy. Partly true. I am bossy. Like, I tell you exactly what I think. But I also don't want you to just say, yes, Karen. I don't. I like the pushback. Sometimes, more than others. But in general, pushback is a good thing in a relationship. What do you think about that? Tell me about the pushback.
I think you take pushback well.
Okay, but tell me about the importance of pushback and why you think that we should push back.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you don't want people to think like the world revolves around them.
Yeah.
That like they're the end all be all. Like there is other opinions, but you also want people to feel included in what you're trying to accomplish. You're not going to get anything done unless people have buy-in, have like a vested buy-in. And in order for that to happen, people have to have agency to feel like they can talk to you about why they believe a particular decision that is being made is not in the best interest of the case. And then, you got to create consensus because you want buy-in. If you don't have buy-in, I really think this, if you don't have people having buy-in at what you're trying to do, the case just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
The outcome doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. You could get your butts kicked. But if you had everybody have buy-in in a case from beginning to end and what we're trying to do,
yeah,
even when you get your butts kicked, you feel good. You feel like we did it together.
Okay, well, let's take one more segue from this conversation.
Okay, what's that?
So I hired you.
All right. Yeah, you did.
11 months ago. I gave you a job offer.
Yes.
And you got cold feet.
I did get cold feet.
You wanted to get hired.
I didn't want to get unhired. What I did was I brought you. I was honest with you. I just was like, I did my.
You told me that you had you weren't able to sleep. You were anxious. You were feeling really crap.
Yeah, I was honest with you about my feelings about making the move.
And what happened?
What happened was I got information that you were a tyrant.
Where did you get that?
A dictator.
Where did you get the information from?
I mean, I put out feelers.
Can't give names.
No, I'm not going to give names of anyone, but I put out feelers. Mm-hmm. The legal community in the state of Washington is small. It's not a big community.
Especially the personal injury community.
Yeah. And so I just put out feelers. Mm-hmm. And by the way, let's be fair. I got real positive feedback about you.
Sure.
But I also got mixed feedback.
I want the bad stuff. I want to hear the bad stuff.
Well, the bad stuff was that it's Karen's way or the highway. Yeah. It's Karen's game. It's Karen's music show. Whatever. It was Karen's show.
And that I would never let the light shine on you.
Basically, that there wouldn't be enough space for me to be me.
Okay, so let's just talk about this first of all.
Yeah.
You told me about this.
Yeah.
Many months later. However, most of these people I know all of them, and they're plaintiff personal injury lawyers. Like, just the nerve of people to try to talk someone out of taking a job because they don't like me personally. I said I wasn't bothered by it, but I was bothered by it. And to me, it was very click clubby and white male privilege-y.
Yes, but it also, the way you reacted to it, it was a teaching moment for myself, first of all, is that you're a sensitive person. Of course it's going to bother you.
Yeah.
And you were very honest about how it hurts you.
Yeah.
Okay? And that you've been doing this for a considerable time and that you didn't command the respect that you deserved. And when somebody, and this is just my take, when people criticize people, usually to me it's a projection about something that's going on in their own lives. If somebody really has got a problem with you, they know you well enough to have your cell phone number and call you up and be like,
No,
Karen.
they're only going to do it behind my back.
Well, I'm sure there are people you have who are in your circle that would call you and say, Karen, I got a problem with you. I don't agree with what you're doing.
Sure.
Okay, so if then there are people who level criticism, who don't know you on that level, and then it's really about them. And
Or they experienced me in a big case where they wanted to settle and I didn't want to settle. And then I kicked the defendant's ass at trial and made them look bad. And so now they've had a grudge ever since. Could be some of those people.
But it could be some of those people, but it
could very well be. And, you know, the other thing about it is maybe 10 years ago, Paul Rivera, great trial lawyer, told me, Karen, the more successful you become, the more people are going to hate you. They're just going to be haters. He told me that at least, maybe it's 15 years ago now. I'm so old, I've lost track. But I think it was around the time I was 50.
Paul Rivera talking like Tupac.
He told me that.
Haters.
He told me, and no one had even hated me. People used to love me. In general, I didn't have very many people that didn't say anything nice about me. But it has been true, as I have aged in the practice of law, there has been a lot of negative from people that don't even have cases with me, or in the case of the people that, you know, didn't make a good decision and I did, because I'm so blunt. So I don't hide things. And if someone said something, you know, and I wanted to go confront them, I talk right to their face.
But I had no idea anything about plaintiff's law.
You walked into the hornet's nest.
I walked into a culture.
Yeah.
And I started to absorb information. And because, you know, when you work as a federal public defender, when you're in the government, there is no competition.
Yeah.
Everybody is genuinely there to help each other. It's not the case in this discipline. No. It is a weird discipline.
Because everyone's trying to get these, you know, in our cases, they're trying to get these terribly injured or dead clients. You know, it's a smaller group, thank God, but, you know, there's, you know, 5 firms that are competing for the same clients.
Yeah,
and so they're talking a lot of smack.
It's a little real estate agenty.
Yeah.
And no criticisms to the real estate agent industry.
Yeah.
But it just is different.
Yeah.
It's been a hard shift for me because I'm just not motivated by those types of things.
Yeah.
But to your credit, you're an easy person to figure out. You kind of like, you have a big digital footprint. You can go find out.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything, you're just out there.
That's true.
And I just felt that it was important. It's just my nature. If I feel something, I will tell you.
Yeah.
If I felt anxious and I was like, this is what I heard, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, and I came to you and we talked about it.
Well, we'll talk about more of this later, but, you know, this does go back to one of the issues that we'll talk about a lot in this podcast, which is we don't have to play by the rules of the white patriarchy. We don't. And I personally don't want to be in that club. I'm not going to be in that club. I've gotten out of all those clubs, as you know. I've resigned under protest from almost all of them, or protested before. So the issue is, for me, is can you be a successful plaintiff attorney for the people that want to be trial lawyers here without getting into that club? And we don't have to have an answer right now. You're already in it. You're in it more than I'm in it.
Well, I am, but I'm just saying, rather, I say, can you be successful and not be conventional and mainstream?
Oh, good one.
I mean, I think that's the thing.
All right.
And
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't have to be conventional.
Yeah.
Gross.
Okay, well, we'll end it with that.
Okay.
That's a great last word. Gross.
Gross.